I'm speaking with Rhody. I'm very happy that you're taking some time out from your busy schedule and a beautiful day in New York City to come down here and talk with us. So I thought maybe we'd start talking about your early careers and how they helped prepare you for your first position in PR, which was with the Kentucky Fish and Wildlife Resources.
The Kentucky Department of Fish and Wildlife Resources.
Okay. So, how did all of this prepare you to work in PR, and then moving from an agency, a state agency, eventually then into a corporate environment? Now, how did this all play out for you?
Well, I think it was largely a matter of luck, but there may have been a design. I'm not sure. My father was a newspaper editor, so I grew up in that environment, and I had always thought, or I'd always assumed that I was going to be working with words. Numbers bore me to tears, and I can't handle them. So I was pretty sure always that I was going to be working with words, and I started out working on the newspaper with my father. Then moved into radio, and then into television, and then into public relations. How did that prepare you for a career in public relations? It seems to me that this thing that we do is about ideas, and I think it seems to me we're in the business of creating, packaging, and marketing ideas. And in the final analysis, no idea is worth a damn until it can be articulated so that people can react to it either positively or negatively. So I started the skills that were developed during those earlier years in newspapering and radio, and so I learned to write. I learned to look at things carefully, to ask questions, to be a little irreverent but not totally irreverent, and to concentrate on trying to hang words together in a way that would help people understand what was going on and what it meant, which ultimately gets you to what we do in public relations, which is package ideas. It will be interesting for me to see how some of the others have answered this question, because I'm a writer by trade. Or that's the way I look at myself, as a writer by trade, do lots of other things. Others of my peers I know don't consider themselves to be that. And so I'll be curious to see how they answer that particular question.
It's been interesting because I would say the majority of the individuals that I've talked with have all mentioned that writing is absolutely essential, and that they consider themselves writers. So, yeah.
Oh, really? Good. Well, I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah. If you're in that position today to hire someone for a PR position, what characteristics, qualities, and attributes would you be looking for in that person? What's important to you?
Well, don't most of us sort of hire people like ourselves? Well, what's important to me, if I'm looking at new talent, and I have an opportunity to do that from time to time. Let me go back to writing a bit. I think, and I'm not talking about personal attributes now, like ethics or articulation, that sort of thing, but professional attributes. It seems to me that writing is the fundamental skill of a public relations practitioner, because it is it's the articulation function. It is also the discipline function. You can't write well unless you know what it is you're trying to write about, and you can't know what it is you're trying to write about unless you've done the research, done the reportage, done the investigation necessary to understand what the situation is. So, and clearly you can't move anybody unless you can get your ideas across in a persuasive way, which is why I think writing is the essential skill for public relations people. I also think it's one of the essential skills for attorneys, and they approach it in that fashion. So I look for people who are very good writers. Now, I've had a tendency in my career, we're past that now, we talked about classes. My class is now off the scene. There are new classes coming on. But there was a tendency for the people in my class to go for people coming out of the media, principally coming out of journalism. And for a couple of reasons. One is you knew they could write. You knew they were disciplined. You knew they could handle deadlines. You knew that they didn't give in to pressure. You knew that they weren't easily intimidated. So you had a tendency to go for people who had a background coming out of journalism, basically. For me, that's all changed. It didn't change for me, and I've been delighted. Have had some, and have some now. You have people who are in very responsible positions in major corporations that worked with me, and who came out of journalism and came into their first public relations job in my operations. So the writing skill is very, very important. Self-discipline, I think, is very, very important. You look for people who are self-motivators, who are self-starters, who don't need to be told what to do, but who are looking for things to do. People are honest, of course, and you look for people who have pretty good people skills. The first thing you do is, when the person sits down across the desk from you and says, I really like public relations because I love people, that's the person that you just escort out the door right away, because that's not the person that you're looking for when I say people skills. I think you've got to have pretty good people skills. You've got to have, you're looking for people with energy, but both physical and mental. I guess there's a long list, but those
Just
will
at
do
the
for
top.
starters.
Okay.